Hello everyone, my name is Hisham. I'm the owner of Clemson Aeronautics, where we make the riveting and dimpling systems. I just want to make something clear to everyone that watches my videos. The biggest purpose of making those videos is just pretty much to give heads up on certain issues while you're building your airplane. In other words, I say, hey, watch out for this. So when you come to that point while you're building, you need to do a little bit more research. You might go back to see what I said and apply it to the conditions that you're working in. That is the primary purpose, just as a I wanted to call it as a favor to the fellow pilots, builders out there. I already filmed a portion of this video, and to begin with, there is 6 rivets here that holds the ribs to the rear spar. They're universal head rivets, and it's called for to be a 4-6 rivet. And I put it in there, and as soon as I put the rivet in there, it was very obvious it's not long enough. Again, you need to check the heads up, guys. You need to check that one to see, because there's a lot of layers of the spar and the ribs and the doublers and all that is primed, so could add to the thickness of the material. So you need to kind of check that before you start squeezing the rivet to make sure. In my case, it was very obvious, and when I checked it, I went to a 4-7. And as I mentioned, I already filmed that, and when I didn't think about it, and I set my tool, my squeezer, for a 4-6. Then when I stopped that portion of the tape and I start looking at it, I had to reset it again to a 4-7, and I went ahead and riveted those 6 rivets. They're very tight. You need a longeron, a good longeron yoke. Even with the longeron yoke, it was quite difficult. It might even be easier in this case, and this is one of the rare times that I say use the rivet gun. If you have a nice bucking bar, you can go down from here. And again, 2 people, guys, 2 people. It's not where, after all the hard work that I've done on this thing, I used a special longeron yoke that I have that allowed me to do this. And if you don't, I don't sell those, not yet anyway. I have the standard one on our website. So, but in this case here, you can just simply have one guy holding a nice bucking bar and hold it steady, while the other person could use the rivet gun from the outside. It will be easy. And now I have 3 rivets over here for the rear spar, and 3 on the other side, and it calls for a 4-4 rivet. And once again, it is very obvious this 4-4 is not long enough. I measured the thickness of the material that I'm grabbing right here, and it is exactly 100,000. 100,000, that means I have to add to that thickness 1.5 times the diameter of the rivet, which is number 4. What it boils down to, it tells me I need a rivet of 0.28 something, 0.283 or something like that. and that's not for dash 4. For dash 4 is only a quarter of an inch, 0.25. I need to be 30 thousandths above that, so I'm going with a 4-5. You guys have to look for yourselves, and please use a caliper to measure your material to see what the thickness of the or the length of the rivet have to be before you start squeezing a rivet in there. Don't take my word for it. This area gets a lot of stress, so that's why vans themselves made sure you put enough rivets in there to make it super strong. And there's doublers and caps and all kinds of stuff, so it would defeat the purpose if we don't use rivets long enough. Well, folks, I finished that, and as far as I understand, there is nothing left to do with the horizontal stabilizer except the 2 nose ribs that we have to put in, and we can actually take that and put it on the bench and work on those according to the print. So I was just looking around, and something caught my attention, that this here, there is no rivet here. And I thought it's for one of the plastics and stuff like that, but I knew the holes for the plastics is outside and down near the bottom. And sure enough, looks like I put a rivet in here and never squeezed it, then it fell out. So I guess I caught it in time. I will set up and do this rivet. Now, thank God, everything is done with the exception of the 2 nose ribs that I have to rivet, and I got them into place. Might be able to see that. I got them into place right here, and it was kind of a tight fit, but you need to kind of take your time and put clecos, line up the holes well, and put the clecos on there, and got them into place. And now I'm just gonna rivet the ribs to the skin. Well, folks, this is it for my horizontal stabilizer. There is only 5 rivets on each side that is left for me to rivet. These rivets join the rib that's coming in from the top and the nose rib, and we got the front spar sandwiched between them. It is somewhat difficult in this area, and I am going to set my horizontal stabilizer aside because this is the only thing, 10 rivets, and I don't want to ruin it, really. It is a sensitive area, and it is holding a lot of parts together, so I want to do it well. So I'm going to seek a friend of mine's help so we can get a nice bucking bar that's suitable for the job, and we're going to have to buck it. So I'm going to stop at this point with the horizontal stabilizer because I finished riveting the nose rib. It's very tight fit. You have to be careful and take your time, but it came out very well. So as I mentioned, this is it for the horizontal stabilizer. Please like and share our videos, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if we were a part of making you decide to purchase Van's RV kit, Van's RV offers the finder's fee response form here. If you fill that and put our builder's number in there, I believe they will be kind enough to send us a check for $100 or so. That's the last I've heard. And if we do receive the check, you will in turn get $100 credit on your account here with us. You can apply to anything that you purchase from us. Next video is the summary for the horizontal stabilizer. I will take my time on that video to highlight everything you need to know before you get into the meat of things, the heart of things, because there is a lot of knowledge you need to have, you need to acquire before you get into the horizontal stabilizer. That's gonna make your job a lot easier as you progress building it. Final drilling and match drilling and all that stuff, you need to use a good technique and you need to get used to it so everything would actually match together. When you put it back together and you start assembly, you won't have a hard time. I had to do very little tweaking after, and all that is because I took very, very good care when I was doing that. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you the next time.